weird.
Finish? What? What's happening?
So guys, hopefully you have had good days. Oh,
Okay. We worked now.
could be a territorial. Oh my god, and me.
Yes.
Could be a territorial behavior dichotomy.
Yeah, you got another cat around outside, maybe?
I know my kid was notorious for scratching the couch, and she definitely knew better. She 100% knew better.
Let's fix this. Yeah, I did it dumb.
Is she doing anything else out of the ordinary? Like any other new behaviors?
Hello, pastry puff.
Hey, pastry puff.
Okay, now it's good. Now we're right. Now we're correct.
Interesting dichotomy. Maybe she's claiming her territory.
I don't know. Cats do weird stuff. But alright,
Cats do weird things.
Let's show this reel I did. Because now that it's finally done. Let me stop the other music for a second. I feel so bad we lost Mason. It's all my fault. Because I was a dumb. Alright. Here we are.
The four types of husband. Which one yours? Watch it and
why is it echoey? It did this before. All right, you get it without the sound.
Dichotomy. I didn't say there were cats running around in December in Canada. That was all Ori.
I said possible.
And actually, that's probably good that there are no strays. Hopefully it means they're all being taken care of.
It's more that it's cold. It's silent, I know. But it's still funny. Unless you get to watch it again. And that means you have to watch it with sound the next time. But yeah, this is toned down from my original vision. And yet. Alrighty.
I love that ending shot.
It's great.
Hudson and Ferrex really are the chaotic siblings.
Yes, they are.
Just like, but they're totally the type of siblings where it's like someone gets hit and then it's like, oh shit, don't cry, mom is going to yell at me if you cry.
Yeah, literally. Aster's gonna yell at me.
Take this lollipop. Shut up.
Yep. Exactly. Alrighty. What else do we have? Oh, do we want to see something else cool? And how many layers I have?
Do it.
Alright. It's VTuber Ori.
Whoa.
And this is all the cutting I'm gonna end. I just have to color in the boots and everything because I got lazy and I'm gonna die otherwise. But yeah.
I love the different hairstyle. That sideswipe look is really doing it.
You guys can't really see, but I'll show you in a second how many freaking layers there are.
She does have legs. She can actually move.
Yeah. Yeah, we got all these different hair pieces. And oh, that's actually 2 pieces, the hairband, the leaf, and then the rest of it. And then hair, more hair, lots of hair pieces. Oh, see, my whole face is not one piece. We have the glasses, and then we have the eyes are like a ton of different pieces. Oh, even the lashes are even more pieces.
Holy crow.
So many
Hi,
pieces.
Oscar.
Hello, Oscar. So many lash pieces. The eyeball has so many pieces.
She removed her eyes.
So many pieces. Eyebrows. The earrings are 3 pieces.
Oh, look, it's a character from the city of blank. It's a blank.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, my hairline. I can go bald. The nose, the mouth, the face, ears, More hair. More hair, more hair, more hair, more hair. This is so... Oh, this isn't even... There's so many layers of stuff.
I did not think there were this many layers when you were showing it to me earlier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that means I
Holy
did my job
crap.
good. The tie. Ooh, lots of tie layers. The undercollar. The pockets have 2 layers. Where are we?
Look, it has pockets.
Yeah, shirt. Oh, these are different layers. There you go. And then this is one. This is one. Nope, the sleeves, those have multiple layers. Like that. Ogres are like onions, yeah. Well, Mason, sadly, I don't get the satisfaction of that because this is gonna be a VTuber model.
Yes.
And that means...
And I
those are
must
the
say,
legs.
Mason, that
You cut out? Hello?
hello?
Hello? Hello?
Did I
And you-
cut out?
And you must say Mason, and then you died.
Wow.
Yep.
The timing.
Yep.
I'm
I
dead.
have to
Oh my
clean
god.
some of this up. Because this is going to be a VTuber model. That's why they're all separated in such incredibly specific ways. So that I can animate it.
Yeah. The next
Rig
big
it,
step in
technically.
Ori's
So I can be
career.
my mother and father now. Ooh.
But Mason, what I was going to say earlier is yes, it's very satisfying to combine all the layers.
Mars would know.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yep, you died
And
before you
Discord
could.
cut me out.
Yep, I
Ooh,
have
the
to-
Game Awards Oscar? That's exciting. Also, Dichotomy, I must say, what a good example of a line utilizing some symbolism.
Indeed.
Isn't it so good? Oh, yeah. No, I don't doubt that, Oscar. I feel like Baldur's Gate is just going to take everything. I don't even remember what games came out this year. Oh, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
Tears
and
of the Kingdom came out
Mario
this year.
something, and Pikmin, and
Oh, yeah. Mario Wonder,
um,
Pikmin 4.
some what is Adam Savage is not the right thing. Something.
I thought you were about to say Adam Sandler.
No. Adam Game. Is that not what it is?
Depends on if it's a spoiler or not, Oscar. If it's about the game's story, then yes. But if it's just like who won the award for best, whatever the category is, I think that's okay.
Yeah, wasn't there a game that came out this year that was on there? Alan, that's what it was. That's what it was, Dichotomy. Thank you. I was close. Alan
Wake? That's my
Alan
first
Wake
time hearing
2
of that
came
one.
out. Little goody 2 shoes you're getting for
Little goody
Christmas?
2
Ooh, very
shoes.
nice.
Okay,
Yes.
what did Baldur's Gate win? I'm
A
sure
lot.
Dylan and Doug will be very happy about this.
Yes. But yeah, that's a VTuber model. That's what I've been spending a significant amount of time on.
Amazing.
And it is
Performance,
not even done.
community, RPG, multiplayer, player's voice. Dang, look at them go.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense.
I have to ask Oscar, did Tears of the Kingdom win anything? You know, Ori and I are the Zelda fans. We
The
have
problem
to vote.
is, while like it's good, it is just like Breath of the Wild with new story. You know, like it's not.
Yeah, but
it
they've
didn't
also
do
got some
anything
new
nuts.
mechanics.
Yeah, but I don't think it did anything nuts.
Oh,
saying?
not like how Breath of the Wild did.
It did. Oh, look at that. It did.
Ooh.
Don't remember the category.
Okay. At least it got something.
But yes. So hopefully I will be a VTuber soon, and I can. It's not transformative. It's just more Breath of the Wild. Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
And then I can have tree videos, which is what we're doing tomorrow. Tree video stuff. So yes. Action game. All right.
Ah,
Interesting.
very nice.
I like when I talked about being a VTuber, I did like the VTuber lean. Like she could lean with me, but I can't. But I'm doing it. You guys can
You
totally
can
tell,
do
right?
it, Ori.
You can totally tell. I'm bouncing and the hair is moving. Woo.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
that's probably never going to happen.
That is
And
definitely
the
never
reason for
happening.
that is that tech support is hard.
Tech support is very hard,
If
and equipment is very expensive.
you could do it with almost everything you have, the main concern I have for trying to get us to be VTubers is one, I don't know if the computer Mars has can handle it. She still has a
It would
laptop.
explode.
And even with a slightly newer laptop, it's still not a new laptop. And so, yeah, it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, it does.
Two, there's a lot of fucking things that go into doing it, and we already have tech issues for really easy shit. And I don't think we need any more scuff in our lives for that. Because I don't
You know,
ever want
Oscar,
to be...
I never thought about that. What a suggestion.
I don't want to be the only
Oscar,
VTuber
let
on
me ask
screen.
you this. Oscar, let me ask, why would I rob a bank and buy a new PC when I could just
Rob the store with the PC,
and get a
yeah.
new PC?
There you go.
Exactly.
Take out
Cut
one
out
of the
middleman.
steps. Direct
It's
to...
like, if I'm gonna rob something, I might as well go to the source, right?
Farm to table.
Farm to table.
Farm to table PC.
From the PC
acquirement.
garden.
Yeah, exactly. From computer garden. The perfect
The
video
monitor
for this.
orchard.
Yeah, exactly. You pick one off the tree, nice and ripe. Why can't she wear it for the PC robbery, though? Yeah, why is it only bank specific? You know, I feel like that is that's an oversight there.
I mean, I feel like if the outfit is that good, it can be worn on multiple occasions, you know? That's how you know
just
it's a good
anywhere,
outfit.
you know? Okay, I think we're good except for the
Well, I would
Mars.
love to run away on a horse. That is one of my ultimate fantasies. Just escaping somewhere on a horse. So I do support that.
Your Emma eyes, apparently. Because they're not right. I don't know why they're not right. But they're
It
not
does look off for some reason, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't think I used a reference, so I'll do it.
No worries, Ori. No worries. Well, I suppose I should get into our topic, should I not?
You should. It is time.
Alrighty.
It
I
is
think
symbolism
we
time.
got the people that we'll get, so I'll launch right into it. To be very honest and transparent with you guys, my brain is dying. I will
It's
do
a
my
chill
absolute
symbolism.
best.
Come on, Moriarty,
Which is
Moriarty,
chill.
Moriarty. You
Oh,
can
I
get
know
it.
Moriarty. I
Get in
know
it.
I know all the points I can talk about. I am very structured with that. But I am also kindly asking the audience if you have questions about symbolism,
Help us.
maybe if you want to use it in your own story and want some advice, or if you have any questions about the comic, anything like that, please feel free to ask. Questions help
carrot shake?
kickstart my brain. Questions really do help kickstart my brain, so I would greatly
It's
appreciate it.
important. It's the fuel.
It really is. Because questions are a starting point. They are always good. But okay, so let's get into symbolism. Enough stalling. What is symbolism exactly? Well, symbolism is essentially you can take an item or something in a story. It doesn't even need to be an item per se. Why is symbol M?
Symbolism.
Why symbol is M?
Symbol is M. Symbolism. Symbol
Ah.
is M.
Well, I will tell you why symbolism. Basically, the idea is that this item selected can represent an idea. It can also represent additional information about a character, the world, even a theme that the author is trying to convey. One of the most classic cases of a symbolism, I'm sure you guys all remember this. Oh, no, dichotomy. I do not mind the interruption. This is not structured in the slightest.
No.
I am all over the place tonight, and
Literally the
you know what?
only
I don't make
stream
apologies.
that we try to kind of stay on topic is Ace Attorney. Everything else is free for all.
Like, we try to stay on topic with this, but it
try to
really
do
is flying by the
some,
seat of our pants. We try.
But not like the whole thing is just whatever.
But anywho, so you probably remember this in middle school, high school. You remember being handed the sheet of paper that said, what were the symbols in this chapter? When you were reading The Great Gatsby,
Ugh.
what did the green light at the end of the dock represent? What did the
Ugh.
what did the sign with the eyes at the gas station represent? Maybe you guys were reading Lord of the Flies. What did Piggy's glasses represent?
I'm having flashbacks.
I'm sorry, Ori.
This is terrible.
I gotta be honest, Piggy's glasses are the ones I remember the most. I don't know why. I think it was just so visceral to me when
That
my
book
teacher
came for us. I don't know.
Oh, that book was rough. They killed so many kids in that book.
Simon!
I know. It was so bad.
I couldn't with he was the worst in my opinion. Like death. I was so upset.
It was
I
rough.
was like, what the hell? They just murked him, like just in the middle of it. Like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Just straight
Animals. Literally.
And that was the whole point of the book. And one of the symbols that the author chose helped play into that messaging. Because the glasses I was talking about came from the most innocent character in the story. And through his glasses, the character himself represented pure-heartedness, the goodness of humanity, basically he was a good-natured person. So when in the book Lord of the Flies, everything goes to shit, to put it very bluntly.
As it's wont to do.
As it's wont to do, because the author was trying to convey a message, this character's glasses get crushed. They get broken. So now, because these glasses are a symbol, this moment is more than just, oh, the glasses are broken. Now this moment is, this is the death of humanity. This is the death of compassion. It has been crushed under the careless feet of the other violent men on the island. Well, not even men, boys on the island.
Literal
this is
children.
The death of hope. Literal children. No, honestly.
Ugh.
But this is what you can do with a symbol. You can take something and give it some extra meaning, or make your point even stronger. Or you had a gasp. Is an example coming to mind?
Literally the beast from over the garden wall, because you literally said this is the death of hope, and that's literally a line in Over the Garden Wall talking about the beast. He is the death of hope.
And you could certainly argue, like, let's take Over the Garden Wall, for example.
All
The
symbolism.
beast itself is symbolic. He's symbolic of death. He's symbolic of fear of the unknown.
You haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, we'll make our way, Pastry Puff. We will
Slowly
make
but
our way.
surely.
Mason, I missed your comment earlier, but yeah, you summarized that book very well. I gotta be honest, I have a soft spot for The Great Gatsby. I did genuinely enjoy that book, and I am a sucker for the movie as well. It's just so out there, I can't help but love it. It's a guilty pleasure, to say the least.
I'm the exact opposite. There's only one book that I had to read in school that I actually enjoyed, and it was because I actually read it outside of school, and so I hated reading it in school because I already knew everything that happened, and the whole fucking unit was foreshadowing. And I was, and so everybody knew that I read it.
Well,
so
that was
everyone's
ruined.
like, ooh, Ori, like, which do you think is the theory? And it's like, bitch, I can't say. This is like 6th grade. It's like, bitch, I can't say. I didn't say bitch, but you know, like if I say anything,
Yeah, baby Ori.
they're gonna be like,
first.
oh, it's terrible, upset.
But that's essentially the point of symbolism. I'll even take Dichotomy's example earlier with Shrek, because that is another perfect example. And there's kind of multiple things happening there too. You got a little bit of a metaphor, but the onion is symbolic of the layers. Shrek himself, when he compares himself to an onion, has layers. He is a complex character and person, but the world that's been created in that story doesn't want to see it because they have labeled him as a monster. So they could never get to see past those layers. It's really interesting the different directions you could take with symbolism. I know I keep
cut
rattling off examples. Go for it.
I listen to a lot of like YouTube, like Reddit readers, and obviously one of those is like incels, right? Or like nice guys, all of the above. And
God.
so my favorite thing that they did was someone tried to talk about Shrek and how Lord Farquaad, he was short and so Fiona didn't want him, and like tried to paint Lord Farquaad as like an incel, and that Shrek was like the Chad that like swooped in and everybody in the comments is like, dude, you didn't fucking watch Shrek, like what are you talking about? This is the total opposite of the whole point of the movie Shrek. Like, what the heck?
See, that is something that I realize can happen, where there will be someone out there who misinterprets what the story was trying to say to fit their own narrative.
So
It's
hard.
like, what the hell? Also,
short people
Pastry
can
Puff,
be assholes too.
Yes, Pastry Puff. I think it's okay to talk about the symbolism in the third Layton game if you really want to. I don't have an issue with it. You can be as vague as you want or as specific as you want. I don't mind either way. I'm very curious, because if there's something there that resonated with you, by all means share it. Oh, new Monster Hunter confirmed. I tried playing that game and I died so quickly I couldn't even get past the tutorial, so I gave up on that series. 'Twas not meant for me.
I'm bad at game. I didn't even try.
Let my broken Wiimote be symbolic of my giving up. My dreams crushed like this Wiimote.
That is fine, Pastry Puff.
No worries, Pastry Puff. You do what you gotta do.
But yeah, so that just got me about the whole... Well, so Mars, I have a question.
Absolutely.
What do you find about finding symbolism in things that weren't meant to have it, or looking for someone where there isn't any? My favorite example being that classic one that circulates the internet sometimes. I believe it's from Tumblr originally, where it's like, the blue curtains symbolize the author's depressive error at the moment, and the author from the grave. The curtains were
I know
just
the one
fucking
you're
blue.
talking about.
They didn't mean anything.
And that could certainly be the case. I actually kind of alluded to it earlier when you were talking about the incel thing, and I said there's always going to be someone out there who misinterprets it or puts their own reading to what they're seeing, their own interpretation, you know? I feel like this can be one of those cases where we can see what we want to see. And I find that people who look for deeper meaning will find said deeper meaning. Like the other day, Ori and I are watching Megalobox. Now that is an anime that is loaded with symbolism. I've talked about it on Inspiration
Got me
Station,
hooked, and then we couldn't watch
but
it this week.
I know, Ori, it's your fault.
It's not
No,
my
it's not.
fault. I wanted you to come over.
That's okay. Actually, it's more than fine. I am exhausted and I am sleeping in tomorrow.
Worked out.
It really did. Oh, and I have paperwork, so.
Oof. Worked
But
out.
so in the first episode of Megalobox, the main character, I will give a very short summary. He is not a citizen. He lives on the outskirts of the city. He fights in an illegal underground ring, and this is all he can do. All he can do is box because it's what he's good at, and all he can do to avoid getting in trouble for his debt, actually not even him, his mentor is in debt. He's actually kind of being used in a way to make sure the other guy stays out of debt. So in the first episode,
It's real rude of him, you know?
oh, Ori, I promise you're gonna love Nambu. He turns into one of the best characters.
He's been good at this point now, but
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. I can't wait until we get to one particular episode. But so in the first episode, Joe is riding his motorcycle and he drives over a beaten, crumpled one-way sign on the ground. Now, someone could see that and say, "Oh, there's a crumpled sign on the ground," and that helps enhance this dystopian feeling. Like they're in a desert, they're on the outskirts. It's rugged. It's not the inner city where it's clean and futuristic looking. Like this is almost grunge. Now someone could look at that and just say, "Oh, that adds to the setting." Another person can look at that and say, "Oh man, he's driving over the one-way sign. That's showing how his life is going in only one direction, and it's showing how he feels inside because in this moment he's driving and he's frustrated." And then we see the fallout of what happens from his frustration. He crashes his bike. But
he does that a lot.
he does it many times. But those are two very valid ways of looking at that scene. It just kind of depends on the type of person you are. So yeah, absolutely, maybe the author did just pick the curtains to be blue because it was their favorite color. But someone else could be looking at the color of the curtains, seeing that they're blue, and then seeing the context surrounding the curtains. Maybe they're talking about being in a room, feeling lonely. Maybe the weather outside is
frightful.
gray and cloudy. Well, now the blue curtains are taking on a different meaning surrounding them. Now, because we're seeing the context, we can assign meaning to the curtains because now we know more. So if we're seeing that depressive atmosphere, now we might come to think, hey, blue is typically a color representing sadness. So this is enhancing that depressing feel. It all kind of depends on how you look at it. Like that context exists in the example I just gave with Megalobox as well. Again, someone could look at that and just say like, oh, this is that not post-apocalyptic. This is that grungy feel. This just adds to the setting. Like it's run down, it's crummy, it's the outskirts. No one wants to live here. But another person can look at that and say, this represents the main character's mental state. And this tells us more about the character because Joe never says a single word in that scene. It's all done through the music. It's all done through the facial expression. And it's all done through what the camera chooses to focus on. They chose to focus on the wheel of that motorcycle driving over that one-way sign. Now, somebody who picks up on these cues can look at that and say, oh, they focused on that for a reason. Why did they do that? And this is where I find symbolism can actually be stronger in film than it can be in book. Because in book, you can gloss over the words and completely miss the detail.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in film, you can take the camera and position it exactly where you need it to be so that the audience picks up on it. Like, there is no way to miss this one-way sign. It is there. It is front and center.
It is
Same
the
with
shot.
another example. It is the shot. It takes up the whole frame. It would be a panel in a comic.
Yeah.
Same thing with, Ori alluded to it earlier, Moriarty the Patriot. There is a fantastic symbol in the silver fork being used in the first 3 episodes of the series. Now, Moriarty the Patriot, the big conflict is between the nobility and the poor people. And in the first 3 episodes, we see the original Moriarty family, and we see how some family members are abusing their position of power. Now, still, a silver fork is a very fine dining material. Only the best could afford it. Only the richest could afford
It's
it.
the sharper version
And
of a
one,
silver spoon.
pretty much, exactly. One of the characters takes that fork and literally weaponizes it against someone of a lower social status. Well, now we have this symbol of nobility being used as a weapon. It's very on the nose, but it is blatant. And what does that camera focus on? A close up of that fork. I'm pausing for a moment to read Pastry Puffs over here.
I have a couple levels of it, so this is only part
Ah,
1.
I did see the continued, so I will wait for a moment. Dichotomy. I'm very interested in the symbolism you saw in Naruto because I know Ori has watched that.
I have watched it.
And
I'll say, as a person, I'm a very lazy enjoyer of media.
well, Ori, I was gonna say, cause this would be a great chance to really see the 2 different perspectives. One person can look at it and see one thing, another person can look at it and see something else. I'm curious to see where you and Dichotomy converge or diverge.
I'll definitely say, as like a person, especially when I watch something on my own, which I did watch Naruto completely on my own, I am definitely an incredibly passive
And this was before
enjoyer.
Ori and I started watching anime together, so
Yeah,
I didn't get a
exactly.
chance to corrupt her yet.
And yeah, it was one of my very first animes. Not very, very first anime, but you know, it's in like era 1 of anime, when you can like stop time somehow and watch these really long animes. And yeah, so I'm just very, very lazy. All of the symbolism that I know, like media wise, has either been specifically like shoved in your face by the media, like a lot of the like Megalobox ones that Mars has specifically pointed out, like she said, are right there. The camera's literally like, this is the shot of the sign. This is the shot of this sign. Like, look at it. It's right there.
Guys,
Can you
there are
see it?
some moments where Ori and I are watching together, and I'll literally be like, "Oh, this is so symbolic of that. Oh, this shows that. Oh, this is so good." I don't have to do that with Megalobox.
No,
Ori's doing it for me.
it's very
When that
right
one-way
there.
sign thing happened, Ori was sitting next to me, and she just went,
Yeah,
"Oh."
exactly. Because I'm
Like, she
here.
got it.
I can see it. But versus like the only other shows that I could really say that I'm like, I am very present for like symbolism is ones that I've watched over and over and over again. So Adventure Time, Over the Garden Wall, No Evil Man. Whew. But
oh boy.
yeah, those are the ones where it's like, yes, I have like watched this so many times that eventually you start picking up on it, because like you know what's happening. You know, you don't have to pay attention to the story at all because like you've watched it 8 times already. You know, you don't have to do that.
And another thing I want
worries,
to mention
Pastry
about
Puff.
symbolism that can be really fun to use to your advantage in writing.
Welcome, PC.
You can use symbolism as shorthand to get across a lot of information and almost say nothing at all. Like, take the one-way sign, for example. Like I said, Joe doesn't talk at all during that scene. Not a single word of dialogue is said. And yet, we still somehow know exactly how he's feeling. Now, this, of course, again, is enhanced by the music, the shots they choose to focus on, like they do a close-up of his face, they do quick like flashback, they pull out all the tricks, but they also do show that one-way sign to add to it. And because we're able to inference and really think about what that means, we're able to learn more about him as a person. And we're also able to learn more about him in a more interesting way. Because who wants their character to come out and say, oh, I'm so frustrated because A, B, and C? This falls into the show don't tell element of visual storytelling. It really does benefit a story to show don't tell, because let's be honest, so little do we really say what we're feeling. Usually it's all internal, but that's real life. You're not telling a story in real life, so how are you going to tell a connected story that an audience can follow if your character isn't saying everything they're thinking? Well, you use symbolism to help make some of your points a little bit stronger. And I will now take this time to read over what Pastry Puff has said, because I am very excited to see this. While I take a sip of tea, because, ouch, throat.
But yeah, I don't like most media I watch on my own. I'm pretty lazy about. When I watch stuff with someone, like Dylan or Mars, both of them are much more, I guess, active media enjoyers. So just by proxy of them wanting to like talk about it and discuss, my brain is like, okay, Ori, if you want to be able to have any part in this conversation, you kind of have to pay a lot more attention to this one. You
Sorry,
kinda gotta
Ori.
it's not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing, but it's definitely like a difference I see. You know, it's definitely like you know, when in college, Dylan or, you know, I had this other friend, they're very like analytical of movies, right? Like they're really in it, they're really watching, and I'm literally like, yeah, the vibe was good, I had a good time. And they're like, but this plot hole and this and that and whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, it was fun and I had a good time. You know, it didn't
No,
really bother me.
I can't watch a movie. I have to study it.
Like like as a group, Dylan, Doug, Mars, and I, we watched Morbius specifically because it was haha funny bad. And so
Okay,
we like had a time
honestly,
for
that one I had no thoughts about. I was literally just like, I'm having fun
Well,
laughing with
so
my friends.
what I'm
That was
saying
a
is
turn
that
off my brain movie.
I probably would have found less wrong with it if I didn't go into it being like, I know that the point of this like hangout watch is to make fun of this movie. So I'm like paying attention to plot points and like when did this happen and all this sort of stuff. You know, it was very much like, oh, I have to like think about it, because otherwise, well, honestly, overall it was kind of a boring movie in my opinion, like vibe wise. It would have been like a different experience if I just like watched it instead of everything.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You need friends to watch that one. So Pastry Puff, yeah, everything you mentioned there, perfect example of symbolism. Um, you could maybe I've never played the games myself, but I can inference maybe it also symbolizes like maybe a little bit of guilt Leighton feels, like if he thought he could save her or prevent her from dying. It's interesting to think about. Sometimes a symbol can carry multiple meanings. And then you can do even more with that.
Hello,
Oh,
Lakitu
dichotomy, I
Bro.
see. Hello, Lakitu Bro. Yeah, Sakura cutting her hair. That's a big one. That one is such a universally recognized symbol.
Yeah.
Everybody does it as this example of I'm breaking free from conformity, or I'm breaking free from the person I used to be.
Want to break free.
I do have to say, my favorite cut hair cliche, like the moment the person cuts their hair to go be who they need to be, definitely Mulan.
I was gonna say, okay, I'm like, if she doesn't say
No.
Mulan right here, I'm gonna have to break it.
You can't beat that scene. The music, the pacing, it's so good. It's too good.
I don't think. See, I think overdone is different than ubiquitous, right? Like, I feel like that's
Absolutely.
overdone is specifically like, why did they put it here? They just wanted a cool, like, hair flow motion scene and to give the character a different haircut, versus like, no, this is like the classic symbol for, you know, like changing who you are, or being who you are, or, you know, letting go of the you know, it means a whole bunch of things. But just because it's
breaking away from society's norms,
common does well. There's also the ones that are like negative. Okay, recently this is someone's like OC, and I don't know like really anything about them, but they did like this reel, and it was really interesting. And basically,
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Maybe
starts with an M.
I have no idea, if I'm being completely. I literally just saw it like yesterday.
OC has blue hair and glasses.
No.
Oh.
It's not Melly Wong, but she's very good too, and she's great. But that's not who I'm talking about.
Because there was a cut hair one just recently as well.
Yes, but no, it's not who I'm talking. It was someone else. And basically, the OC story, to my understanding, is that they were like born with like wings to like a nunnery, like a coven, like everything like that of nuns, a convent. That's the word I want. And they're like, oh, like, what do we do? And they're like, oh, okay, we have to take care of it and raise it. It's gonna be like the Messiah, essentially, is like the basics of it. And the child grows up, and the child is definitely assigned male at birth, but they want to be a girl, and so she's wearing like the nun clothes, and she has long hair, and the one nun is like really happy with this and is calling her Alice instead of the A name that I can't remember that was more masculine. And, you know, so
we'll go with
she's
Avery.
Alice is having a good time. And this other nun comes along and is obviously not happy with this fact that she's a trans girl, and like rips off the habit and cuts her long hair. And that is a different symbol, but it's still like that one is like conforming to society, you know, like it's a whole thing, taking out what she has grown as a person and like setting her back emotionally and mentally and all this sort of stuff, and like really negatives. So you can use it in a lot of different ways, and it's really good. But that was just an interesting one I had, where it's like the opposite of like, because it matters like who does it to you. You know, if you cut your own hair is one thing versus you having somebody else cut your hair forcibly, or you being forced to cut your hair. Because there's like the Rapunzel one is like an interesting one that's kind of like middle ground, very interesting, and it's like the whole thing.
That one is interesting. I don't know if I'd count Rapunzel's hair as a symbol.
She's breaking free of Mother Gothel finally. I don't know. She's finally going against what her mother is saying, her mother's wishes, and also the fact that she cares. Like, you know, Eugene got like stabbed, right? And so she was like, oh, you know, the deal's off. There was another symbol for that. You know, the deal was off, because she was like, I'll go with you, but please let me heal him, and this whole thing. And it was like the whole, oh no, I'm sorry, it's Eugene cuts her hair, that's why. So Eugene is like, no, my life is not as good as yours. I think there's definitely still
I do have to agree with Dichotomy a bit on this one. It does feel like a point of the plot with that one, which is why I don't really feel that one is symboly, but again, it's a difference of what we both see. You see a symbol and I don't. And
I feel like just because it is a plot point doesn't mean it's not a symbol. Because isn't Mulan cutting her hair also a plot point?
That too is a plot point when you put it that way.
So, you know, I feel like it doesn't mean...
It's interesting. It feels different to me. And I think I can explain why. In the Mulan example, it's taking place during a montage. There's no dialogue happening. You had this moment where she's contemplating to herself what she's going to do, and then she makes up her mind. She knows what she's going to do. She's doing this, and there's a lot going on in this scene. Like, even though it's just a couple seconds, they get across so much information. You have the armor, you have the hair cutting, you have her leaving behind the hair ornament that her mother gave her, which you could argue in itself is a symbol itself. You know, when she gave her that hair ornament, she
The
said,
whole flower thing
"There,
in general.
you're ready." And now here she is putting it back, leaving it behind, and taking the summons instead. That feels symbolic to me because it is without dialogue, because of what's being shown to us, I feel. Whereas with Rapunzel, now that I've heard your reasoning, I can see where it's coming from. I think for me it just feels like less of a symbol because when Eugene cuts her hair, like she has a reaction to it, Mother Gothel has a reaction to it. Like, yes, she's definitely free. You can make the argument like Eugene is freeing her, it's giving her like the freedom to live her life how she wants now. I don't know. That's an interesting one to think about. I guess just because of the way it's presented, it changes it in my mind for some reason.
Hmm. And I think
Yeah,
that's an
Lexi,
interesting
bro, I'm
interp.
also hesitant to dismiss it as a symbol.
Like, I totally understand that, like, yeah, it is a plot point. I mean, it's Rapunzel. Like, what is Rapunzel without
Yeah.
her hair?
Oh, how
Like,
could
you
you
know,
avoid
that's,
that?
she's not Rapunzel anymore. But I feel like that dismissing that just, it's a plot point, so it can't mean anything else is kind of like, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
No,
also what ties her to Mother Gothel, because the whole point in the end is that everybody loves her anyway. And no, because her whole her whole arc is that people only want her for her hair, and then by the end it's that no, everybody that actually loves her
Okay.
didn't want her for her hair, you know, like that she has no
Right.
hair now.
Dichotomy's gonna try to put it into words. So let's see what Dichotomy comes up with. I'm gonna read what Pastry Puff said about Ace Attorney here.
I like it's the bullet thing. I like it. There's a
Francisca having surgery.
ton
Yeah,
of
definitely
through
being
lines
better than her father.
with
That's a fantastic.
Edgeworth and Francisca and Manfred, and it's really neat to see because they put it in like the gestures. I mean, we're really seeing it with young Edgeworth, but we saw it a lot
God.
with Francisca's like motions as well. So I'm kind of curious what they're gonna do with her the next time we meet her. Is kind of like, I'm kind of like, ooh, like how's this gonna go? Because she kind of had like a moment, you know, at the end of the second game. So it's like
Little bit of redemption.
third game, how's she gonna be? Because now we're seeing how much Von Karma was in Baby Edgeworth. You know, it was like, damn, that's a lot. I love the whole thing where even now they all grasp their arm. All three of them hold their sleeve with their right arm. They hold their left arm as like a tick, right? As like a nervous tick, and it's like, damn, that is a through line.
Like, wonder
like,
where you got that from.
Nice. It was very, very nice.
And this is why symbolism can be so fun to play around with, because you can do so much with it and you can convey so much, and people are going to respond to it in different ways. That's what's fun about it. It can also feel like a risk sometimes, because you don't always know how someone will interpret your symbol, because you're not outright saying, this is what this means, this is what that means, unless you're including that on every book jacket of your book, or giving an interview with every edition you release. You're not explaining to people what the symbolism means. Usually people have to figure that out for themselves. It's a little bit of a risk you gotta take, but I think it's very worth it in the end, because you'll get many different interpretations, and isn't that what art is meant to be?
Hello, Enthuse. It's
Why
because
why
I'm
is
not
there a
working on my
Mars on
comic.
screen? Oh, you meant that.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm always here in
Yeah,
Deuce.
Mars is always here, Enthuse.
Do you not want me here?
I'm sorry, Pastry Puff. We'll get there one day. Maybe we'll do Ace Attorney symbolism afterwards.
Okay, Dichotomy, I'm gonna read what you said. I think the point here is that we can't consider the scene in a vacuum. That scene in itself, most definitely, I can see it being symbolism for the reasons you described. I believe that was towards Ori.
Yeah,
But
me.
within the context of the entire movie, I disagree. The Mulan comparison falls short because Tangled is about to appoint Rapunzel's hair, whereas with Mulan, the hair is just one piece that's never brought up again.
But my whole thing is that the
Interesting.
hair is a symbol the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like the hair, like that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'd say it's still a symbol.
Kind of like the green light at the end of the dock.
Yeah,
it was
like
always there. It
just
was always
because,
present.
Like, yes, it's about her hair, but it's also not about her hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
These
specifically
glasses
not
in
about her
Lord of
hair.
the Flies were getting dirtier and dirtier throughout the book until they finally cracked. They always called out how Piggy took off his glasses to clean them again and again and again, but they always got dirty no matter what, until finally they broke when he died. Or was brutally
Or, like,
killed.
the conch is, like,
wow,
a
that
really
book.
big part of that story, too, right? And that's, like, the whole thing
Oh,
of, like, the
conch is
breakdown of
massive.
society.
The conch, the boar's
So
head,
much of it.
everything.
But I feel like
in
dismissing
that book.
that just because the thing itself is the main point of the story, it's also not the main point of the story. Because the whole point is not Rapunzel's magic hair. That would be boring. It's not like it's a whole symbol, Jesus Christ, for
Dichotomy. I'm not
her-
late. Everyone else is simply early.
her like connection to Mother Gothel, right? And Mother Gothel's entire mental manipulation of Rapunzel and the whole thing like that. So it's like,
I guess this is interesting to look at because it really shows like how we think about symbols in our media.
what would my thing is, what would you call it if not a symbol? You know what I'm saying? What would you call the fact that the hair is literally referencing to her mental chains and connection to Mother Gothel, and that no one will ever love her besides for her magic hair, right? That she gives no
Maybe-
benefit to anybody's
Okay.
life except through her hair.
Maybe I think I might have figured it out actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have figured it out. So
That's nice one like it too. Yeah.
maybe
Ooh.
maybe the conundrum I'm having with this is that
No, not argumentative.
there's Oh no, it's not art. This is a discussion.
This is a
This
discussion.
is a
I'm trying to
passionate
get my
discussion.
point across
love
because I
it.
actually have feelings about a symbol that we can talk about. Like I said before, I'm a
You
very passive.
You didn't have feelings about Moriarty?
Oh, I honestly, I forgot about the fork being so present. If I'm being honest, like I would
Well,
remember.
to be
that.
fair, it was only those first 3
It was
episodes
one that
because they were
episode. Yeah,
establishing
yeah.
episodes. So I don't blame
It's more
you.
like you probably have way more symbolism in mind for Moriarty than I do, and I'm more just like having a good
Oh,
time. I wouldn't have
tons.
gotten the, like you pointed out, that like all the deaths are like the same way that they killed people. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I'm on that.
Every
Nope.
single death in that Moriarty story, it's always comeuppance.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have figured it out though.
I don't think so, Pastry Puff.
So
I don't think we can.
so I
No, they
think
just don't come
and
up.
I might contradict myself here, but I think maybe the reason it feels less symbolic is because in an earlier scene before her hair gets cut, she tries to break her ties with Mother Gothel. Like she's saying like, I'm really the lost princess. Isn't that right, Mother? Or should I even call you that? And she's like angry. She's trying to break away. Like she realizes the truth at this point. So she's already told us that verbally. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because we have that verbal confirmation that she made the connection is
So-
why her hair getting cut doesn't right away at least come across as a symbol.
Now I'm trying to remember, but if I remember correctly, all of Eugene getting kidnapped for essentially ransom for Rapunzel in a way, right, happens before Rapunzel can check if he's still just after the crown or not. And so, while yes, she's finally getting to the point where, like, yeah, I'm going to leave Mother Gothel, you're not my real mother, I'm going to get away, she still doesn't have any confirmation that anybody else in her life, mainly Eugene, is there for her and not some other ulterior motive. And so finally having the scene where the hair gets cut, the most valuable part of her, now that, like, to her, you know, because of the bad treatment of Mother Gothel and everything, more valuable than the crown, he willingly removes it from the equation, showing her that he wants her, not her, like, monetary value.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree that him cutting her hair shows to her that after years of being loved pretty much only for what she can do for another person is an act that shows not only Eugene's character but also affirms to Rapunzel
exactly,
that
Pastry
this
Puff,
is
exactly.
a good person. No, I totally get that. But it's still, to me at least, and
But see,
again,
my thing
it's
is
not a matter of right and wrong.
My thing is if you're not calling that a symbol, what are you calling it, right? Because you're acknowledging that that's there. You know what I'm saying?
Ori, here's the thing. I think what you're doing, so that's a symbolic act. That's a symbolic act of him cutting the hair. That's him giving up his last chance of life, but that's him also proving his unconditional love for her. I think the act is symbolic, not so much the hair.
But we weren't talking about the hair. We were talking about the cutting of the hair being a symbol.
Cutting of the hair
not
in,
what's happening
in general.
Yeah.
Okay, Ori, this whole time, I think, and this might have been a misunderstanding on my part, I apologize, I am tired.
It's okay.
I thought you were saying the hair itself is a symbol. Was that not what you were saying?
No, we started this whole conversation on the act of cutting a hair is a whole symbol, and it's a ubiquitous symbol. We got around to a point where I was saying that, like, you know, just because the hair is, like, the main plot point doesn't mean that the hair can't be a symbol. But that was a separate argument from the original point, which we were literally just talking about cutting hair.
I see. Okay. So we talked in circles, and we had some very interesting...
And that very beginning part is you guys started with, yeah, but I don't think so, because the hair is the point. And it's like, but wait, were we just talking about cutting hair?
I think we have to give up the ghost on this one.
Mars goes up. That means I win. Victory! Woo!
Not necessarily.
Victor Ori. Woo!
Did you say Victor Ori?
Yeah, Victory. Like, I was trying to make
Yeah,
Victory. You get brain time, I get brain time. Okay, don't
all right. Yeah, honestly, I'm having so much brain time, I might go grab some chocolate. But
in the other examples, the hair itself is a symbol. But it's not the only part of that. And I don't think every hair cutting scene, the hair is also a symbol.
Haven't seen them, Lakitu Bro, but Oscar has been keeping us well informed. If they've said anything new, please let us know.
We don't have a problem for spoiling who wins stuff. I'm never gonna watch it.
Ori's never gonna care enough. She likes a game, she likes a game.
I don't care about Game Awards. I never watch Nintendo Directs. I get all of my information from other people who like what I like, and I'm good.
See, I watch the Nintendo Directs, and then I forward all the good ones to
Ori, look at this one! I gotta say, I was a little sad about the
potions!
Well, yeah, obviously.
How could I not?
Yeah. That is true, Enthuse. I can agree. Because the flower does come up a lot more.
Yeah, I would have guessed that, Lakitu.
Yes. Oh, we were all pretty prepared for that one.
Oh, yes. Even with its disappearing buttons and cameras getting stuck on rocks. Still a very good game.
Your eyes are not doing what I want it to do.
I thought you were about to say my eyes wasn't working in response to me not seeing the button.
I won't go there again, but
Okay. Thank you. It didn't exist and you know it.
Is Dylan here? Oh, I was
No.
gonna tell Mars a secret.
What?
You can't say anything to Doug. So Dylan found out that apparently the ring that I was wearing is what allows us to see the button. So when which we didn't know. Nobody knew at the time. Dylan looked it up later. Nobody knew at the time. So when I pushed the button and left, I doomed you both to never seeing the button. But we never knew that was what would happen. So we didn't know.
Couldn't come back?
I was getting scrolls, ma'am. How was I supposed to know that was the thing?
I
Come
wanted
on.
to get scrolls with you.
Dylan got down there, so how was I supposed to know that it was me? Huh?
How are you supposed to know that the fucking ring hid the button?
That's what I'm saying.
That's so specific.
This is what I'm saying. So don't tell Doug, though.
Dichotomy. Now we have answers.
Don't tell
Ori
Doug,
was
though.
hoarding the button.
Hey,
I won't tell Doug.
I didn't know.
I won't tell Doug.
It's okay. I got to watch Dylan beat
That's
the
fucking
things on
hilarious.
its own. And yeah, the one Bernard, he just glitched out and just stood there.
He just gave up.
Dylan pushed him off the edge, and then he got up, and then he did nothing else every turn. He literally just stood there. He never came back upstairs. He never did anything. It's great. Dichotomy, there's so many things that could happen. When are you gonna play the game? We're gonna beat the game before you ever get to watch it.
Yeah. And there'll be so many
I'm not
videos.
actually gonna force you to do anything, but how could you? I pressed the wrong button. You have yet to beat. I read that as you have yeet to beat it. Sorry, PCM.
Yeet to beat.
Yep, yeet to beat. After Christmas.
Ooh.
On the PS5. Not PC Master Race. Come on. What are we doing? PS5.
Oh no, I still go with my Switch over my PC.
Okay, no. Nintendo
Yes,
games
I
are
know
different.
I have a laptop.
Nintendo games are different. One, because half of them aren't ever on the PC easily, like you have to emulate them. And two, Nintendo consoles aren't made for consumerism nearly as much as PlayStation and Xbox are. Like, they're ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, ridiculous. I have a Switch too. I play my Switch too. I take my Switch on vacation every single time.
Have I
Because it's
played
great
it recently?
and it's portable.
Absolutely
You know what's not portable? A PS5. You know what's not played in the car easily? An Xbox, whatever the fuck they're on. Like, this is not. It's not a thing, you know? And the Wii and the Wii U,
Damn, you
they
guys
had
got
cool
Ori
features, okay? They had cool stuff. There's no controllers like I never had a GameCube, so my first console was the Wii. You know, so they're like, they got cool stuff going on. You can play the Wii U when somebody else is watching TV. That was really important in my household because we only have one main TV and I never had a TV in my room. I still don't have a TV in my room. So, you know, that was never going to happen. I always had to compete with my parents wanting to watch something. So
I still have to compete with my parents when I want to watch something.
Well, I don't watch TV anymore, so that Wii U was amazing because I could do it. Everyone hates on the Wii U. Wii U was the first console I ever bought myself, so that one holds a place in my heart there.
The Wii U really wasn't that bad. It just had a lack of games.
People really hated on it. But yeah, I'm not hacking on consoles in general. But the PlayStation and Xbox have kind of taken it to a point that's not worth it.
Or is a console hater.
So dichotomy, but your argument is, why is PS better than having a computer that can play the exact same games? This is, you know...
Oh, I love
my
the
saying
DS like
is
I
that
do.
the only
I played that
benefit...
so much.
of non-PC games is one if you can't get it anywhere else. I can't play like Mario and Zelda, like they're not on the PC, okay? Like that's, you know, is what it is. You can play a Baldur's Gate on the PC. Well then, you know, set up your computer better, my good sir. I feel like this is a skill issue at this point. I'm just saying, you know.
I want to respond to Pastry Puff here. Yes, amazing symbol.
What symbol are we
And
talking about?
the Amife urn in Ace Attorney.
Yes.
I mean, breaking, putting it back together wrong, then putting it back together right. Yep.
But with
Doesn't get more
splotches on
blatant
it,
than that.
getting it polished and cleaned.
Yes. But it's a community coming together to fix it.
Okay. Now maybe your eyes will be better. I think it's also just weird because you don't have glasses on, so I'm just gonna have to kind of accept that at a certain point.
Yeah.
I learned, guys, I learned. I took one art class in college, okay? I don't regret it at all. It was nice to have one art class in college. I didn't go to art school, if you didn't know. But it wasn't what it said on the tin it was going to be, but it was still nice. It was supposed to be sequential art, but it turned out to be anatomy, which is very different things. But
That was a what?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't. Fuck if I know. That
Somebody fucked up.
that art professor, he barely knew what was going on either. He taught art, and that was it. He did what he had to do, and I don't know. But
He comes into class just confused, not knowing where he is.
But where was I going with this? Oh, we did like portraits, and so like some of the things were like to like look at, like, you know, turn to the person next to you and like draw each other. And I had a friend in the class, which was great because otherwise, you know, it would have been a lot worse. But so our friend and I wear glasses and he doesn't, and so there's definitely like he's like drawing my face and he's like talking with the teacher like it just doesn't really look like her, and he's like, okay, when you put the glasses on at the end, it's gonna like be like magic, right? Like it's suddenly gonna be like, wow, there she is, right? There's Ori. Like she wasn't there before, but there she is. And yeah, the glasses like change your face so much. Like even like it's wild, and it is why I refuse to take my glasses off in pictures, because I like how I look with glasses and I want to look like that in pictures. They don't have the glare flash anymore. We've gotten past that technology. So no taking off my glasses. Same with Dylan. We like our glasses on.
Same
Go eat
here.
your food.
Would Larry's thinker clock be symbolic for anything? Unless it's symbolic of all the time Larry's not gonna get back for that wasted relationship, I really can't think of anything.
Kind of dichotomy. I am. Would Larry's thinker clock be symbolism?
I can't think of anything for that one.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
more of just
it
like a
was
callback
never-
rather than a symbol. I don't feel
It was
like
never related to anything. Like the Ami Fae fern, fern,
yeah,
the
the
Ami
fern,
Fae
the fern
urn,
specifically. We like
and
ferns.
me.
here.
The Ami Fae urn, you could clearly see how that connected back to the family, back to the Faes, back to Pearl and Maya's relationship and their kindredness as sisters. Like, you could connect all that and to their heritage as well. Larry's thinker clock really did not play the same type of role. Like, yes, he made it as a gift for his girlfriend, but there's not enough to go off of to really call that a symbol, right? We don't really know too much about the girlfriend. We don't know the context really surrounding it, except that he handmade it.
I don't think it does
there's
anything.
no through line.
Like
And
I
it
don't
doesn't
feel like
tell us anything more than what we already know.
replacing it with a literal, like any other kind of clock that could be mistaken as something else, like, wouldn't change it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it actually matters that it was made by Larry. You know, it's just like,
You could certainly make the argument if you want to, Pastry Puff. It, to me, it's not obvious enough.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
feel like it's super
there's always
symboly.
some kind of through line, especially, and here's where you kind of gotta consider the medium everything is being portrayed.
The
Like
spirit medium.
it's in a video game, it's in a visual novel style format. So with the Amife urn, like yes, you can look at that and conclude that's a symbol, but then you also have the story backing up and reinforcing that symbol. You see the sisters coming together. You see uh oh crap, what's her name? Starts with an A.
Ami
She's no
Faye?
longer a robot. No, no, no. Your character, Ori, the one you voice, blonde hair.
Oh, Adrian
On,
Andrews.
Adrian, thank you. I wanted to say
It's
Andrea, and
no
I'm like,
longer a
no, that's
robot.
not it.
What are,
What the
I'm
hell
like,
is it?
Blue Lady is still a robot. I don't know what we're talking about.
Adrian Andrew, like you have her coming to put it back together. Like there's stuff happening in the story to reinforce that symbol. Whereas with the thinker clock, there's nothing really reinforcing it. Like there's an outright moment, if I remember correctly, where Phoenix says something about coming together or it's nice to see them together again. Like it's very clear what's being told to you. Now that's not always the case with symbols, but that just happens to be Ace Attorney's style of storytelling. It very well could. I guess he is a good sculptor. I mean, he painted a whole face. He sculpted a whole face and a clock.
Yeah, no, Larry is certainly a crafty guy. There's no question there. However, he's not much else. Oh, Larry.
Well, enthused, thinking about it that way,
Dancing
it
or
could be
sprinting.
symbolic of because
Flipping.
symbols can change their meaning over the course of time.
Oh, that feels better.
So a symbol can start out as one thing and then turn into another. Maybe at first it represented the Faye family coming together and being reunited because Pearl was the one who put it together first. Now, because Adrian put it together, that could be a community coming together. If we remember the story of the Fays, Maya and Pearl were very sheltered people. But now they're out in the world. They're making these new connections. They're making these new friendships and bonds. And now that's forever immortalized in the Ami Faye urn because of the pink paint that was left behind between the broken pieces. So yeah, it could certainly in the second game be representative of the Faye family being reunited, but then in the next game it takes on another meaning to match the development that's happening in the story itself. And I think that's really cool when a symbol can grow and change over time.
Do we have any symbols, Mars, that we can talk about in Outcast or not?
I'll think of
That's
some
the
while I
true
respond
question.
to Lakitu. So Lakitu, you're absolutely right about Pearl's fear of being banished for breaking it. It's definitely showing what type of mother Morgan is and the expectations that come of her. I wouldn't so this is where it's interesting discussing symbolism. That action in particular I wouldn't call symbolism. It's more so just revealing more information because it's not the urn itself that's conveying that Morgan is strict. It's Pearl's reaction to it. It's Pearl's dialogue reinforcing that. So that's more just characterization bringing about characterization for somebody else is how I interpret that. It's really interesting to clarify like what's a symbol and what isn't. It's one of those vague terms that honestly drives me crazy.
That's why we can argue about it. Vehemently. Angrily. No bonk for Pastry Puff. They didn't mean it that way, Enthuse. If anything, bonk for you, Enthuse.
Why are we giving a bonk? What did they do?
They didn't even say weenie.
God, I've heard enough about weenies to last me a lifetime. Thank you.
Yeah.
But to answer Ori's question, how best to symbolize symbolism itself? Oh, Jesus. I don't know if I got the brain for that one, Dichotomy.
You barely got the brain for this one.
I also want to say Pastry Puff, Dichotomy, Lakitu and everyone contributing in chat. Thank you so much for participating in this. I feel like this is the most lively discussion we've had in a while. So thank you all.
For Comic Corner stuff, definitely.
Yes.
See, I know Pastry Puff. Yes, bonk Enthuse, Jawline Jim. Bonk Enthuse.
Bonk,
Enthuse
bonk,
deserves
bonk.
it. They say such
Bonk,
a shame.
bonk.
My turn this way. My brain has stuck.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the brain to symbolize symbolism. Because symbolism itself, like, how do you symbolize something so vague? I mean, you could symbolize concepts like love, betrayal, grief, regret. Like, we've seen examples of those. Symbolism is a term. It's more a noun than something else. So I really cannot think of a way to do that. I'm glad you've had ears, Dichotomy. I'm very sorry you don't feel well. At the cost of not feeling well, you have ears.
Indeed. Okay, I think this looks more like
flower,
Mars than
flower
the others.
symbolism is huge. If anybody is into the Hanahaki trope in fan fiction, the biggest thing authors love using is looking up flower symbolism to find, oh, what's the perfect flower that represents my ship?
The problem with the problem with flower symbolism is the
There's
same
so many
problem
fucking meanings.
with color symbolism. Is we have general conceptions of it, but there's also, depending on where you're doing it, how you're doing it, what you're doing with it, it can mean 8 different things. Like, I was gonna butt in earlier, but when Mars is talking about how
red can mean love and passion, but red can also mean anger and hatred.
And danger and just bad or good luck if your culture is different. You know, like it all depends on your culture too. So it's like a whole thing.
And this is where context comes in. This is why I said, like, much earlier in our chat, symbolism has to be surrounded by context. You have to know what's going on in order to understand the symbolism. Like, if we weren't able to follow Mia and Pearl's story arcs, it would just be, okay, the urn broke and now it's put back together. Whoopity-doo. No larger meaning to it. But because we understand the larger story being told, now we're able to ascribe meaning.
Did you see Enthuse's question, Mars?
I'm reading Dichotomy's symbolism of symbolism.
Ah.
That's fascinating. You know, Enthuse, I agree with you on that one. Absolutely. Because and I think
true,
Ori, you can definitely attest to this. When you design a character, you do it with purpose. Every
good
design
character design is done with
has
purpose,
a reason to exist.
Conscious character
you don't
design.
just give glasses to someone for the sake of glasses. You don't just
that one I'll
in good character design?
Yeah. Glasses are one of those things that are kind of tough, just because of like people need them to see, and they also can be aesthetic. You know, like there's the problem with character design is it very much falls into that, like, is this a symbol? Is it not a symbol? What is it symbolizing? You know, what is it doing? Because there's a certain extent of where it's like, this has to look good too, you know, and this has to be this or whatever. But there's also like glasses being a symbol of something is difficult when it comes to characters, that because you can express like someone's nerdy or someone, you know, like studious, you know, these sort of things, like sciences, you know, or
But those are
historian.
personality traits.
Yes, but they're usually expressed in glasses. I mean, think about all the like anime characters that have glasses. Like, what are they doing? They're very cognitive. They have a lot of brain function related, you know, dealings going on, right? Or sometimes to a certain extent they're secretive. If the glasses are, you know, sunglasses of course make it secretive,
If they get that tint.
but they get the tint in the eye and all this sort of stuff. They're like hiding, you know, a part of themselves and everything like that.
Glasses.
But the problem is that as the general population, a significant amount of us wear glasses. So it's also to be like, if only characters that get glasses are those things, you know, it can be kind of difficult. So you can make like the point to make it like, no, this character has glasses and they're not those things, right? And so it's like it's like a lot of things. It's kind of like that trope of like the ugly girl is only ugly because she doesn't do her hair and has glasses, you know, like that sort of thing, where it's like it can be a symbol, but it's also to a certain point where it's like, when people wear that's like saying your and my characters have glasses because we both have glasses in real life. They're not trying to like say anything about our character. We physically, as humans in the real world, wear glasses. You know what I'm saying? So it is like a whole thing where Dylan's avatar, though Dylan in real life also wears glasses, Dylan's avatar doesn't wear glasses. That's not saying anything about him. If, you know, he's also a very studious person as well, and his avatar is literally like Lawyer the Devil Man. So, you know, it's like glasses would work in the personality side of it, but they didn't do it. So glasses are just like a tough one specifically, but overall character design, there is a lot of symbolism in it. That's sort of like a tangent there. The problem is there's like a mix, you know, there's like a mix of it, I guess, is the short and sweet of that whole tangent, is that there's like kind of a mix of this looks good and also this means thing. And I will say there's also the ability that you can put meaning on it afterwards. You can find the meaning later on. You know what I'm saying? I could sit here and I could represent all the colors.
Comes down to how your reader interprets your story.
Exactly.
Maybe we didn't intend something to have symbolism.
Oh, is
but
that
somebody reads our story and sees the context surrounding this item and says, "Oh, hey, this must be a symbol and it represents this."
That's why I like theories. Honestly, like that's why watching like theory videos of like animation and like cartoons and, you know, and like game theory and things like that, and like seeing how people interpret stuff, you know, mainly I see it for like cartoons, you know, like the Round Table and those sort of things, for sort of trying to predict things in cartoons basis the pieces that you have, because it is really interesting to see what people take out of it. So it's like there's a few things in my brain that I'm like, ooh, yeah, these are good things, and I'm really excited to do more with them later on at Outcast. But I'm also like, is someone gonna make a theory? Is someone gonna say? Because I don't want to get too close into it, but we've definitely had a few times where it's like, is this about to, is it about to happen? Are we there? And it hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
So that's how we ended up at Outcast as homoerotic. Okay.
What? Way on a different tangent. Yeah, okay. I don't know if everybody saw, there was a whole discussion in the 18 plus Discord channel, but it basically pointed down to the fact I'm better at being accidental than purposeful, apparently. So Yeah, Dylan literally just like, all your accidental stuff is more spicy than your like purposeful stuff, and it's like, that's kind of mean.
I thought the Hooks and
That's
Milano
kinda
Pocky Kiss was really cute.
Yeah, but I'm just like, that's kind of mean in a way. Symbol is definitely there for homoeroticism. I've had one really good scream on stream, and that was when Cinder fucking scared the shit out of me when we were doing.
Amazing.
That one was like the biggest scare I've had in like a long time. Pirate sailing sailors, the U.S. Navy. Oh god.
I mean, we certainly didn't shy away from
It's
the
definitely
historical
not
context.
the U.S. Navy, okay?
No.
But I do know the connotations around the U.S. Navy.
Oh, geez, that was a while ago, Pastry Puff. I'm trying to remember.
It was in like July, it must have been.
September? Really? That long ago?
Yeah, because that's when Dylan was practicing for the bar. So it was in July.
Oh, that's right. Holy crow.
The Sumatran Navy, bam, it's gay. It's definitely not Sumatran either.
It's not Sumatra.
The Sumatran characters are just for one island port.
There's many ports.
And many islands.
A whole world worth of ports.
Will you ever get a map? Yeah, probably not.
Oh, jeez. Oy.
I'm a lazy content creator. That's a lie, but that is what I will say.
She's right, it is a lie.
But I'm a very lazy content creator, guys, so.
But to wrap up my discussion on symbolism, it's very fun to play around with. Whether it happens intentionally or unintentionally, it is fun to look back on in retrospect and just see what meaning you can ascribe to it, and does it make the story more interesting. I think if you have a symbol and it does make your story more interesting and more engaging, you've done it. So, go into the world, use your symbols.
Use your symbols. Look for symbols.
Yes.
Don't be an Ori. Passively consuming media. There's a reason that theory videos exist, you know, for the Oris out there who can't do it on her own. Your symbol blind. Exact. PCM high five. High five. I'm definitely not blind. I'm more just passive.
Well, you were picking up on what Megalobox was putting down.
Well, when they are right there, I will say it is a lot easier.
Yeah.
When they do really show it to you, it is like, versus like Gravity Falls stuff. Like 90% of Gravity Falls stuff I only know because I watched people's theory videos about them. And it makes it very interesting.
Oh, God.
Indeed. But yeah. I feel like I had something to say and then I forgot what it was.
Oh, no.
Yeah, such is life.
Such
With all these eyes, you still don't get it? I don't think more eyes is the place to lack.
More brain.
Yeah, dichotomy. There is definitely a difference between kind of being a mystery show, I guess, in the sense of like Gravity Falls was specifically like, we want people to like bury its face in this. We want like how Five Nights at Freddy's has gone. Like they're making purposeful things. What's that other one? Welcome Home.
Only self-love
like that's the
indeed,
whole
Black
part
Only
of it.
self-love indeed.
So there is definitely a difference there. Good night. I'm not lazy. It's one of those weird middle ground things. I know I'm not lazy, but I'm definitely lazy. and I didn't.
Where does
erase
Paradise
them.
Killer fall in that spectrum?
Of what? What spectrum?
Which spectrum, Enthuse?
I've lost a spectrum.
I'm sorry, Midnight Brain just kicked in.
We talked
That's
about a
why
lot
I
of
had
things.
to wrap up. I could feel the
Good
brain
night,
fading.
pastry puff.
Night, Pastry Puff. I'm not sure what time we're wrapping up,
Oh,
but
the
thank you
Gravity
so
Falls
much for
mystery
joining us.
spectrum.
Oh,
I will say, we likely did Paradise Killer a bit of a disservice in the sense of how we were always going to interact with it, just by the
Yeah.
fact that we never intended for us to be as into it as Ace Attorney was, and just as people, it was not a game that either Mars or I were going to get super in-depth into, because we definitely like the more fun, goofy Ace Attorney vibes that then have deep lore, versus the like, this whole thing is kind of like angst and the world sucks and everybody's a piece of
Like,
shit
ooh,
in their own way, but some
nothing
less
but
than the others.
lore.
Yeah, and like everything is lore, and it was just like, okay, we
I
weren't
feel
gonna
like
do it that way.
you gotta be careful of lore sometimes. Like, it's fun, but there is such a thing as too much. It's the same way I feel about One Piece. It's like, I'm sure it's great, I'm sure it's fine, but you gotta realize when you made something that is
And
not
this is
entry
why-
or user friendly.
Yeah, so this is why I think that there's a difference between games, and I will say on top of that, like, Paradise Killer is specifically like a mystery game, so like, I don't think it did.
And it definitely plays more realistically. Like, you're allowed to take your time. You're making the deductions. The game isn't
Yeah.
really leading you
It's
anywhere.
not leading you
You gotta
along.
use a lot more
Yeah,
brain.
you're
to
not.
solve it. Like, this is for the
It's
hardcore.
a mystery that you actually have to solve, versus a mystery that the game slowly reveals to you. You know, that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Ace Attorney, the mystery is eventually revealed. If you win, you've figured it out, whether or not
If
you,
you
the
win,
player, is
The
capable
reward
of
is
doing it.
seeing how it was done.
Yeah, which is
That's
why
your
I
intent.
enjoy Ace Attorney and why I enjoy mystery novels and shows, because the whole point is that you get to learn how it is. But a game like Paradise Killer is like, no, this is a mystery and you have to figure it out, and it's like, but that makes it not a cool, nice, simple ending, like where the catharsis isn't there, because what if I fucked up? You know, it'll never tell me.
We got, what was it, 6 out of 8? Like,
we
wasn't
killed
bad.
one person that technically was innocent, but we killed all the people that weren't, so it worked out.
Yeah, and honestly, our logic of everyone sucks here really worked.
Pretty accurate. They just maybe weren't murderers. But so I
Maybe.
think it just wasn't a game for us, but it's a game for people who want that sort of thing, and that is not who we are.
And I
as
think people looking for that sort of thing
Versus-
will enjoy it.
Like Gravity Falls, see, I would put Gravity Falls in the middle of this spectrum, and Paradise Killer is like way out in left field, right? As like incredibly lore heavy. The enjoyment of that game comes out of being one of these theorist people, right? If you're not one of those people, honestly, a lot of it gets real tedious really fast, as Mars and I experienced. Versus Gravity Falls is a good, fun show in
That's
its
the
own
interesting
right.
thing. I feel like Paradise Killer, like, maybe there's some room to theorize, but they were giving us so much lore and so much backstory. Like, there was so much information. Like, it
But I
didn't
think
feel like
that
there was
was the whole.
room to theorize because all the answers were there.
But they weren't there. You had to take that information and find the answers through it. None of the answers were there.
You mean in the mystery itself. See, when I talk about the lore, I'm talking like the backstory of the place. I'm talking like something people would make a theory video about. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this person was connected to this person. And like, nope, the game outright tells us that.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody say backstory? No dichotomy, because we want to kill as little innocent people as possible and kill all the guilty people. So, no, the logic just kill everyone doesn't work there, because the goal
We
is
still
to
had
not
to
have killed
accuse
anybody
them
that.
correctly.
Yeah, and the goal was to not have killed anybody that wasn't guilty. That's the ideal.
But you know, we still did pretty good.
But yeah, Gravity Falls, and, you know, even like the Five Nights at Freddy games, you can enjoy them without actually caring about the lore. Are you enjoying them to maybe, some people might argue, a lesser extent? You know, that could well be, but you still
It
get a
depends on what you're
pretty
looking
good,
to get out
you
of
know,
it.
especially the earlier games of like Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, where the game like play is really the main focus originally, you know. But Gravity Falls, again, Gravity Falls is a fantastic show in its own right. You know, all the
Well,
cool
it was
added
designed
stuff
from the ground up to be theorized
is
about.
fun, yeah. But I could watch Gravity Falls without had a single theorized video and just had a good time when Ford was revealed and just had a good time. You know, like I didn't need to be a part of being like, oh, the internet predicted that sort of stuff, you know, to enjoy the show. And I think that's the big difference on a lot of stuff. I have to look at what I did for your Emma design. Avatars.
Ah, reference required.
Yeah, retired. Because you'll get a new Emma.
It'll be interesting to see if those pink glasses disappear, you know,
No,
as she gets older. Because her naivete might go away as she gets older.
I wonder if Lana's in jail for life. Or does she get
I-
out?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get out for good behavior.
She didn't kill anybody in the end. She only forged evidence.
Yeah, maybe that's a lighter sentence.
Mm,
I hope for Emma's sake.
that's a Dylan question as to if she was technically considered an accomplice or not in
She might be.
the Goodman bit. Because she didn't report him. And she technically was attempting to help him hide the body in a way. So, like,
Ooh,
not sure there.
not a good look.
Not a good look. Yeah, we talked about this in another stream enthuse, I think with Pastry Puff, and it was basically just that, or maybe it was one of Sarah's like comments or something. Yeah, it was definitely one of Sarah's comments, where it was like they throw around the death penalty a lot, but they never actually say that anyone was ever actually going to get it. It's more just like a threat of, besides just ruining your life by going to jail and all the horrible things of the, you know, the jail system, at least in America. I don't really know about jails anywhere else. No. On top of that, maybe you'll die. Maybe you'll die. I'd have to assume, for my own sanity, that Von Karma, that if anyone got the death penalty, it's Von Karma and Gant, because both of them killed two people in the end, essentially.
Many people.
Gant directly 2 times, Von Karma indirectly one of his 2 times, but it was still very, very, very much involved and facilitating said murder. So, yeah. I think, and I feel like, I wonder if Franziska would be as vehement about getting revenge if her father was alive but in jail than dead. The death penalty? Oh god. That would cause a lot of confusion dichotomy. I feel like that could cause a lot of confusion. Oh no.
Oh no.
I fixed it. That's why we have the undo button.
Phew.
I'm so happy, guys. I'm getting to go to Christmas high tea next week. So nice.
Ooh.
Oh. We can play a fun little game for people who are up to date in Outcast. We've learned a little bit about Sinet's backstory recently. A little bit, a little tidbit. What do you think that one he did in the past? What was his whole backstory thing? And two, what in his character line symbolizes the thing he did in the past? Wait, let's play in 10 minutes? Alright, go get caught up, Dichotomy. Go read it.
Alright.
In
Hurry.
great news, guys, the dub is out yesterday, yeah, with Milano, lots of Milano in it. You should really listen to that if you haven't. Listen to Milano's beautiful, amazing voice. And also, we're at 118! I'm dying. We gained 10 followers in like 2 days. It's
Holy
nuts.
crap.
It's nuts. We are over 6,000 views. This is just the English version. The Spanish version is really close to breaking 300. 299. Wow. 299 subscribers right now on the Spanish version. I don't know if Oscar's still here. How dare you, Dichotomy? Get a third eye. Jamie, hello! We're talking about outcasts and symbolisms, Jamie. And you missed the part where they were talking about the homoerotic symbolism. So I'm sorry for you. Alternatively, get 7 eyes? Well, then you can do even more. You're in the shadows, Oscar? Well, Oscar, almost 300 Spanish subscribers! Spanish-speaking subscribers. I don't know what Spanish countries they're from.
It's so exciting.
If you want to, Dichotomy, I won't ask anybody for it. I just can't believe we're so close. Oh my god. Imagine.
I mean, if you really want to, Dichotomy, I can't stop you.
But goodness. I can't believe it hasn't even been a year. Oh, magic. It's nuts. It's nuts. Honestly, the dub was a brilliant decision on our part. It's pretty nuts. Why does Tapas give me so many extra message notifications? But yeah, anybody else? We're not waiting for a Dichotomy. What in brain? Sennett's character design goes with his background, symbolizes his background, his lore.
Harkens back to his background.
Yeah. The Sinnett lore is just gonna kick up, guys, and Enthuse. I know you already ship Sinsin, but it's gonna get worse, unfortunately. Worse for us, better for you, the shipper, because God, I even drew.
Briefly.
I looked back at those panels and I went, damn. This one is really shipper fuel right here, man.
Oopsies. Sinzin.
There's a Spanish one. You don't see it on Webtoon. You have to go to Spanish Webtoon, Dichotomy. Go through the links.
Climbing up a tree.
In a
PLANTING.
Hot off the presses. Great, Dichotomy. So many extra clicks. I'm so sorry. It's for the Spanish speakers. That's why. It's meant to make it difficult for the non-Spanish speakers. Obviously. That's the only reason. Yeah, this is a great one. Someone on the Spanish version after the latest
I do like
episode.
how it sounds, though, I gotta say.
What?
Sinsin.
Sinsin?
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, Enthuse has been spelling it with the T as well. Tzin.
Oh.
Because kind of like the Japanese, like, TSU, you know, is like a...
Oh, so you're thinking like Sin.
Yeah.
Like with that
Sin.
in there.
Yeah.
I see.
Too much work? How dare you, Dichotomy? No, that's fine. We appreciate the attempt. Call dibs on the ship name? You can have dibs on the ship name. It's really funny though, Enthuse. When I first saw you type it in the comment, my brain told me that you said citizen. And I was like, what? How did we get there from Sinzin? But no, we got here. Come on, any Milano Hotes and shippers in chat? That's my ship. It's the only ship.
Ah, so we know who Ori likes.
I am definitely not quiet about that one. What color are your eyes, Mars? I think you're these colors.
I think I'm brown, right?
Yes, but which brown? Oof. Very
I was
important.
about to say, you're giving me cross eyes? I look derp.
Only if you can have said it to yourself.
The lemuranas and the snake flies.
I guess we're just
no.
we're a bit removed.
We're gonna make Rana snakes.
We're a
No.
bit sadly removed from the Hotes and Milano interactions. It's just been so many long.
It has been a while.
Long.
They'll get
hangouts.
to interact more when they're on the ship.
Yeah, I need my boy back. He's been so long.
The ship will set sail when the ship sets sail.
It's so funny, guys. When I redrew the first 3 entries for launch, it had been so long since I had drawn Milano for the comic that I was like telling Mars all the time, I was like, my boy, I miss my boy. I have him back. Mars, how dare you not give me more of my boy? And she's like, there'll be more soon, Ori. And I'm like, my boy, I haven't drawn him in so long.
I'm sorry. You realize when we get to port, like, Milano is gonna get the least screen time, right?
This is the sad part, Mars. My boy. And you're just the least one every time.
I know. And we
Season
call him a
2,
main
okay.
character.
He is a main, but it's like Everett's also a main in the end, in a way. So it's just
He's the Killua of this series.
On Milano's your outcast? No, Milano's my boy. Milano's my favorite
Milano.
boy. I'd have to fire Mars if she un-Milano'd Outcast.
I don't want to be fired.
There you go. That hurts my brain, Enthuse. My brain just died.
I can't say that.
It's Zinzin.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I did not pick up on that.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that it's the goal, that it is Zinzin. Thankfully, there's no double hybrid animal hybrids, because they're technically species, not hybrids, so it works out. It's one of those things where we name things after other things that we already named, but they're not actually related at all.
Yep.
Yep, like eel dogs.
That's how we've done it.
Oh, TZ sound, look at that. Brain. Piat. Oh. What? I'm confused now. Are we Russianing it out?
I think so.
I've gotten lost.
Lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce. Look, I can actually make your glasses rose tinted this time, Mars. Instead of on your avatar,
Ooh,
where they're not.
fancy, fancy.
Fancy, fancy indeed. The fancy pantsy. It went too far over the line. Goodness, please, do what I want. It's not Mars. Mars has her glasses. It's Mars.
Sometimes I gotta push them out of the way, you know?
To get a better look at the camera, apparently. Yeah, they're just up. Sometimes you have to take off your glasses. Especially when you're looking at something that your glasses aren't good for. Like, close up. These
They
are
are
Ace
Ace
Attorney
Attorney
outfits.
outfits.
They are for
Specifically
a
from the
thumbnail.
DLC case of the first game,
Yes.
Rise from the Ashes.
Because we're gonna get that sweet,
Our most
sweet redirect.
controversial turnabout
It's one video.
ever.
It's one video because screw it, I can't help myself, and it's very long. It's an hour and a half.
Oh, Jesus.
It's an hour and a half, but you guys voted for one video, so
That is what you have
Dylan
received.
really, really wants it to be more than one video, Enthuse. Okay, like really bad, like really,
Really?
really bad. Yeah,
Oh,
he's like an hour and a
I
half
thought
is
you would have
too
insisted
long.
on only one.
Oh god, no. He's vehement for the more than one. But I can't help myself. Even though my love for backlog is great, one episode extra backlog is very nice. Even, you know, compared to nothing. But two, I just can't bring myself to not have it be just one. It would mess up the aesthetics of the channel. Is it bad for business? Yeah. I'm a YouTube purist. In the sense of that I'm not trying to go so ham for the like clicks and views and stuff. I'm like, nah, people will find the content and they'll like it, and that'll be good. This is exactly what I'm saying, Enthuse. That is 90% of the reason that I'm doing this. 100%. And then having two different thumbnails, and it's just gonna look weird. It's so much prettier this way. Never
Gotta do
say
it for
those
the
words again.
aesthetic.
Why? It's more in the sense of that, like, you know, you gotta make them really clickbaity thumbnails, and you have to like put most of your information in the thumbnail instead of in the text, and you're supposed to make like really clickbaity titles and all this sort of stuff, and I'm just like, no, I need my organization. I need my videos to be easy to watch. I was watching this one YouTuber for a little bit. I haven't watched him in a little bit more just because he stopped coming up in my feed. I do like follow him, but I just, you know, life is weird and you forget about people. But point is, I was watching one of his like game series, right? And they weren't like labeled in a way that I could tell which came first, and it was really annoying. Hello, Kaido Ace. Hello, how are you? Welcome.
Hello.
But yeah, so it was like pain. So I'm like, I won't be like that. I'm gonna be.
Or was traumatized.
No,
for
I
life,
didn't
you
make a
guys.
redirect for the first turnabout. And the reason that I didn't do that in Enthuse is because it's already one 45-minute video. And if Turnabout Sisters is just under 15 minutes, I don't think it would make a good long enough video. One, two, my brain is dying. I had a 2.
Uh-oh.
I had a 2. It'll come back. Hold on. We're coming back. 2 are like whole like sound design and everything, and we had like really bad tech issues with that whole turnabout, so I don't want to deal with it. That's what it was. And I would also have to like blah blah everything of that. Can I make her sprint
Dichotomy is
again?
requesting sprinting.
There you go. She's sprinting. Our day has been going good. I'm getting lots of stuff done. This has been my lightest week, and thus it feels like I'm really getting stuff done again, and I get to
This
do
has
fun
not been
stuff
my
too.
lightest week at
So
all.
I'm it's great. It was not too much PCM. You did it broken up very nice. I had a brain fart right there. Drink coffee? I don't like coffee. I'll drink water. I had cider.
Ooh. The past
no.
tense of hated?
Yeah. Hated. Just add an E at the end.
Well, an E and a D.
I'm sorry, a D is what I meant to say. I meant to say D.
Nah.
No. Oat. Hottie.
Yeah, no.
You hated this week? Yeah. I'm sorry. What happened to me was... Why is mine like... Why is my light so weak? Why is my week so light? It's because Mars isn't coming for anime tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dylan's
sad
not hanging
days.
out the normal amount of time. What else is happening? We don't have D&D. Technically, it's taken up with games now, but it's kind of different still. Because overall, I have more time. Technically, the light part of my week hasn't happened yet. So, I don't know why I'm being really on top of it this time. But it's also probably, honestly, it's probably more like a normal week. And just, I finally got over being, behind from Thanksgiving. That might also be it, if we're being honest.
I think dichotomy, it has to do
With the going.
with the going.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The going part.
It's the difference between getting on a bus and getting in a car.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. You see a movie because you're going to see it. But you watch a movie at home. You don't have to go anywhere for that.
You're not going anywhere.
Now you could say, let's go watch a movie, but it just doesn't sound right.
But I also think it has to do with TV. You never say I'm gonna go see TV. You watch TV. And where do you watch a movie at home on a TV? So I think it has to do with the TV.
There's some overlap there.
On a bus in a car? It definitely
On a
has to
plane
do
in
with
a
the
bar.
size. But then it gets reversed. You have to have 2 C's in that one. But then it gets reversed when you start getting in spaces. Like continents, like land masses. Because you live on an island. But you live in a state or in a country. But you also live in a city.
Well,
it's a different...
See, that makes sense to me because on an island, you're on an island. You're walking on an island. You live on an island. If you're
But I
in
don't
a
live
state,
on North America, the country, the continent.
No, you live in North America because the continent is defined by lines that you are inside of. So
No,
you're
the continent is
in
not
North
necessarily.
What?
A continent is not... I don't live... Okay, I don't know if we have any Australians currently here, but do you live on Australia? We don't say that.
No, you live in Australia because
But
you're
Australia
inside
is not
borders.
bounded by borders. It is an island. You know
What
what
do
I'm
you mean
saying?
Australia doesn't have borders?
I'm saying that Australia as a continent is solely one landmass with nothing else on it. It's not like North America and South America are technically connected and thus have invisible human lines. Australia is one landmass that is completely Australia. It has internal borders.
I think the general public doesn't recognize that.
Australia is everywhere.
I don't know. I've never
But
heard
on
it
top of a
described that way.
landmass.
But I also don't have the brain. It is now 30 past midnight brain.
It is 30 past midnight brain. I can't believe I've gotten this far on Mars in 30 past midnight brain, though.
That is wild.
Which is very good. But I don't think we'll be able to finish Mars, because it is 30 past midnight.
See, that's what I would argue, Enthuse. I agree.
Okay. Do you have Canadian islands dichotomy? Do people live on those islands? They're pretty big. Do you live in Hawaii or on Hawaii? You live in Hawaii. Those are islands. It has to be an island that's smaller than a surrounding, like, state. You know what I'm saying? It's like weird. It's like, where's the line drawn?
Not sure anymore.
Blib, blib, boop. Normally say on. Don't you have... Is Prince Edward Island its own... State is not the word, but I'm blanking because it's past midnight 30. Canada doesn't have states. Provinces. Isn't that a province? To do with proper nouns? No, but...
Jamie, it's hurting itself in its confusion.
So dichotomy, do people live on Prince Edward Island or do they live in Prince Edward Island? It's the word island. That's it. It's the word island. There's no question. That's it. No. Like, I've solved it. If you have the word island in it, you have to say on. But if you don't, you don't. Because nobody lives in Easter Island, they live on Easter Island. Nobody lives in Long Island, you live on Long Island. You live on Staten Island. They all have island in them. Prince Edward Island has island in them. But Hawaii, you don't say Hawaii Island, you say Hawaii. So you live in Hawaii. Right? You live in Cuba. You know, right? Like that. Is that the island one? No, Puerto Rico. Whatever. I'm blanking. It's late. Islands. But yeah, it has to have the word island in it. I think that is the play there. All right. With that, it's not American geography. It's Ori being up later than she's been actually the last few days because she's been good about going to sleep. They're both islands.
Have
there
you
go.
actually?
See, look at me. Yes.
Damn.
I have actually. Now that's saying something when I was going to bed at like 4 a.m., but you know, small victory. Nah, I've been trying. We'll see. It's after Thanksgiving, like catch-up time finally, you know? We're finally here. We're back to normal until it's Christmas. But yay.
Almost there.
The movie thing. We solved the movie thing. You watch on a TV, but you see a movie because it's like a whole experience. But all right, guys. Thank you for coming to our
and joining us
you know,
for this
you learned about
lively
symbolism.
chat.
We definitely talked about symbolism this time, so you know.
Oh, for an hour.
Yeah, it worked
for
out.
an hour and a half.
That's
I
not
am
solved at
proud.
all. I don't think there's anything else like see a movie when you go to like it's the going to a place and having the whole experience.
See a play versus watch a play. Check in,
Never
mate.
watch a play. Yeah, ew. In a theater? I don't think you ever don't watch something in a theater. It's a theater thing. All right. We're done. See you guys tomorrow for Tree NPC. And,
Yes. It'll be exciting.
Gets to do nerd tree stuff. And hopefully you guys are nerds too and enjoy it. Because that's why I'm making a VTuber. So you want to be there. All right.
All right.
Good night, everybody. If we don't see
Night,
you tomorrow,
everyone.
have a great weekend. If we do see you tomorrow, we'll see you then.
Yes,
Night.
gonna be a lovely weekend. Enjoy, everybody.